This is the Red Bull RB7, rendered in 1/18th scale by Minichamps, as driven by Sebastian Vettel during the 2011 Formula One season. Since the early part of the 2009 Grand Prix season, Red Bull Racing has established a reputation for pushing boundaries and exploiting regulations to the absolute limit. Their 2009 RB5 chassis represented the most radical interpretation of that year's technical regulations. Although the BGP001, fielded by the freshman Braun team, took both championships that year, it was Red Bull who were the most consistent toward the end of the season, and this enabled them to build incredible momentum, which culminated in two back-to-back double world championships in 2010 with the RB6 and in 2011 with this car. As most of the hard facts and figures are closely guarded trade secrets, speaking specifically about the technical details of current-era Grand Prix machinery is a difficult proposition. It is known, however, that the Red Bull RB7 was powered by a 2.4-liter Renault RS27 V8 engine, rev limited to 18,000 RPM in order to comply with the FIA regulations. The engine was mated to a Red Bull-designed 7-speed plus reverse semi-automatic gearbox working through a hydraulically actuated clutch supplied by AP Racing. As Formula One drivetrain regulations have been essentially frozen since 2007, most of the advantage enjoyed by the RB7 was gained via the brilliant innovations conceived by designer Adrian Newey. Many Formula One viewers will recall the machine gun-like backfire which could be heard from many of the 2011 cars whilst their engines were on overrun. This innovation, which involved maintaining a high throttle opening while cutting fuel delivery to the engine and modifying ignition timing, enabled large volumes of high-velocity gas to continue escaping from the exhausts even when the car was traveling at low speeds and at low engine RPM. This gas could then be redirected toward aerodynamically critical areas of the car such as the diffuser in order to maintain consistent levels of downforce regardless of the speed of the car or its attitude relative to the incoming airstream. The off-throttle exhaust-blown diffuser, or EBD as it was also known, would be copied by many other teams throughout the year, but it was Red Bull who pioneered the technology, and they even skipped the first test of the season to perfect the design. The net results of this and the many other strokes of design genius on the RB7 were 18 pole positions, 12 race victories, 10 fastest laps, 650 points, and the second world championship in succession for both Red Bull Racing and driver Sebastian Vettel. To put these results into perspective, the RB7 won 12 of the 19 events into which it was entered. That's a 63% rate of victory over the course of the season. In comparison, the RB7's closest competitor, the McLaren MP426, won only 31% of the time, and the Ferrari F150 only 5% of the time, taking just one victory. In terms of the greatest Grand Prix cars of all time, the RB7 stacks up like this. As noted, the RB7 won 63% of the races it entered. The Ferrari F2002, however, took victory 82% of the time, and the Ferrari F2004 won 83% of the races it entered. The all-time dominant Grand Prix car, the McLaren MP44, however, took victory in 15 out of the 16 races in which it participated, yielding a 93% rate of victory. To speak about the model itself, Minichamps have once again delivered a high-quality product. The car sits well on its wheels, and it rolls freely. The paint has been applied and polished to a flawlessly smooth and glossy finish, and much of the sponsorship branding has actually been painted onto the car rather than applied with waterslide decals. The cockpit detail is decent. It features an accurately shaped steering wheel and detailed likeness of Sebastian Vettel, who is wearing one of his many helmets seen throughout that year. The steering works as well. Moving rearward, one will find that the peculiar geometries of the pull rod actuated suspension have been reproduced, as have been the oblong exhaust outlets, which were so very critical in the implementation of Red Bull's exhaust-blown diffuser. Honestly, I have no criticism whatsoever about this model, although I do think that it would have been an interesting idea to have made the DRS flap on the rear wing adjustable, so that one could choose whether to display the car in a DRS open or shut configuration. This piece by Minichamps has been a welcome addition to my 1/18th scale Formula One collection. Its fine craftsmanship gives it a robust yet refined feeling when handled, and the great care that was taken in many of the model's finer details yields an intriguing yet balanced visual experience. Given its modest price and the remarkable story of the car it represents, This model is sure to please any collector of modern-day racing memorabilia.